Broadcasted live.
We're live. Okay.
Yeah, what to say?
All right.
You want me to do it? You can do it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Okay, con. All right, all right. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise and glories unto Yahweh,
Power,
Ba'ashem
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahshua,
Ba'ashem
Barak,
Yahushua Kodash.
Kodash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who taught us his truth and lead us in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the men and women that have changed their lives towards righteousness that they may earn their salvation. Appreciate you all tuning in, listening, and learning that we may get up out of this place soon. All right, I'm the brother Shaquat,
Barzal.
and we're gonna go in on a topic, basically just simply saying that the time is short. Make the most of it. All right, and that the time is short is from some scriptures. We comprise a few scriptures and about the focus that it takes in this truth, especially as time is winding down. That we have to make sure our focus is in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That doesn't mean there's no entertainment or leisure time, but with the time that you do have, make sure you make the most to give attendance to reading. That is just, they start popping up.
Mm-hmm.
To that you're giving the time into the spirit, into Sophia, into this wisdom, because we know that wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of the times that we're coming into.
That's
Okay,
right.
so the more you have, the more beneficial you'll be able to access that wisdom in these last days. All
Yep.
right. So we can start. Let's start with that in Romans.
Okay. Romans
I mean,
13.
you can speak about Salaki, bro. If you got something to chip in, go anytime.
Con. The water.
Mm-hmm.
Romans 13 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Yeah, now it is high time to awake out of sleep. Okay. Um, a lot of times, a lot of people want to put off from day to day. Well, I know I got to get right. I'll get right when that time come, and I'm working on this and that. Now it's enough of that. It's time to quit all that practicing and time to get in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the time to get in the game is now. Starting to put in this wisdom that you're learning and start implementing it into your personal life, that you can use it and have that practice and that relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah.
Believe me, you want to get these knee scrapes and these bastard slips, if you will, these small situations, these stumblings, out your system early. And so while before it gets detrimental, and these slips can cost you your salvation in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they call that just like you saying another term is for it is like young mistakes.
Yep.
Now Paul spoke about that when when he was a child, he spake as a child and he put childish things away. And
Mm-hmm.
the scriptures speak about really removing stuff out of your youthfulness. Every man in his youth he's given over unto evil. Like you
Mm-hmm.
like the elder saying, you got to get that stuff out of your system and really hunker down, because that's what it's about. A true man knows how to hunker down. He has a level of self-control. He's not swayed and moved, like it tells you in the book of
Not
Ephesians.
slacking business, slacking.
Yep, that too. Yep, not
Mm-hmm.
slacking business, not
Yep.
slothful in business.
Yep.
But staying sticking to his spiritual priorities and the mission that's set before him, like as it is written.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna read that over,
I got you.
and that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
Meaning we're closer than we understand. Hey, any day now, Russia just got to shoot a missile off. Okay, not even it could be anybody. Once these missiles true, I mean, we just watched last week. Iran and Israel going head, so we know that they're instrumental players. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
with Palestine, but we know that they're instrumental players in this in this world's war that's coming, this third world's war that's coming, and we know that at the end of the world's war, that the time over here in America is going to be ended, and we know also leading in that this place is going to collapse completely right before that moment happens. So we seeing them already starting the war over there, and we knowing at the end of that war is the end of this place. I mean, we live over here. That's the end of us. So we know that that's the time we're talking about. Our salvation is right here at the doorstep.
Yep, things could pop off, at any moment now. So while
Mm-hmm.
we're waiting for this impending doom, what should we be doing? You know,
Right.
meditating, like the elder was speaking about, in the book of Timothy, where it speaks about giving attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine,
Right.
prayer, getting good in the Hebrew, getting good into these, getting into good grace. That's what it's about. That because there's going to be a time that we all need grace, because we understand that even though we labor and put in this work, it's not about works. Even though works are essential when it's a major, building block, but it's not
Yeah.
about works at the end of the day. It's about the Lord's mercy. And we want the
Right.
Lord to see our actions that we've done through our faith, so that he can show us and extend his mercy unto us from what? Being occupied, doing the work
Right.
of an evangelist, as it is written,
That's
starting
right.
off with apostles and elders, doing our service that we are
Right.
called to do.
Exactly right. You got it.
Okay, I'll got this in Ephesians also.
Mm-hmm.
Ephesians 5:15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as
Mm-hmm.
wise.
Yeah, but as wise, you're wise if you know what time we're in. You've measured the time diligently within itself. You can see we're in the last days.
Mm-hmm.
You see all the different situations that have been coming into current events, and you say, hey, you know what? Uproars of the people, earthquakes in diverse places, wars and rumors of wars. Okay, we're starting to see chariot sightings, or so-called UFO sightings for y'all that may not be in the know. Okay, this is the topics that's coming up. Now we really got to start looking at how do we get saved out of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, what it say, the said perils,
Yep.
seeing them popping off all around us, man. you know, and we are in, some, so-called scary times. Now the scriptures speak about, not to fear, but these are some very detrimental times that we're living in. And,
Yeah.
Ezra's question, himself, how his mind frame would be in these times, Daniel himself, and these are major prophets. They have, major chunks in the Bible written, of
hmm
their actions and the things that they've done for this ministry's sake. And,
That's right.
they were on edge, so how much should we be on edge in these times now? We can't be
Exactly.
moving like, everything is a hunky-dory, so to speak. Like we
hmm
dealing with a lifetime of just bullshitting like everybody else in the world. We can't think like that. We're
That's
on
right.
we're on a, borrowed time, so to speak. America, we say America's on borrowed time. Shit,
Yeah.
America's on its way out of here at any time now. So we got to be in a
hmm
mindset like, yo, this thing could pop off overnight. And how, as it is written, how should you be in all conversation and godliness,
Godliness. That's right.
looking for and hasten that day. And I have a little bit more to Elder.
No, you got it.
Okay, it says, redeeming the time because the days are evil.
hmm The days are bad. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's not sorry, we are the bearers of bad news. But within that bad news, there is a gospel, which means good news. But for everybody to understand, the bad news of this is that everything is about to get tested and tried, and probably majority is going to fail and get destroyed.
Mm.
Okay, so what should we be prepared for and building up to that we may have be written in the good book, so to speak, in the good news, written in the book of life? Okay, because we have to, that means we got to practice this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding. We got to understand the prophecies. We got to have good works, righteous works. Okay, and we got to continue to prophesy and feed these sheep and feed the land. Yeah, we talk about a lot of the negative things, and it tells us that how does it go in 2 Corinthians, the 5th chapter? Through the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.
Yeah.
Now that we got an ear for a lot of you people out here listening, now we have to give you what to do that you may obtain your salvation. It said this was to make where does that one go? I can't think where it said. It said to make men. This is able to make men wise unto salvation. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're really doing. We're giving you the tokens of how to be wise unto salvation, and understanding what time you're in and making the most of it is part of what this is at this time. It's good news. There's a way to get out. Use it wisely.
That's right. And a little bit more.
Yep.
It says, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
In a
And,
way, just because you want to party, it's like you, brother.
oh,
Just because you want to party doesn't mean that you get to just go party. sometimes you got to put that self and that entertainment on the back burner. To do the things that pertain to the ministry and to what the Lord's will is. You got it.
Yeah, and it's just like the love of the sport. Me and this elder was speaking off of camera before we got on. We were speaking about an example everybody's familiar with, the Mamba mentality. Kobe Bryant's one of the most popular basketball players of all time. He had the term of the Mamba mentality, which is that spirit of being laser focused, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he went into his regiment, which is it's a damn outstanding regiment. He was a rat. You see sports, these Mayweathers and things of that. Those guys they rats, man. They're gym rats. They live in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
They live on the court. Whether it's the court or the ring, them guys live to
Yep.
fulfill that sport, man. And Paul spoke about it. That's that's what you say, punching not as one that beateth the air.
Yep.
That's vanity at the end of the day. This is the ultimate prize. And we are spiritual athletes. The word athlete goes into the word of the Greek, which is athleticos, which means to compete for a prize. What's the prize? The kingdom of heaven.
Don't it say that we're in a race and you know that quote?
Oh yeah.
Do you know the quote where it goes?
I thought you were talking about
we're in a race. I think it is in there. Where's it at? I'll pull it if it's
I think 1 Corinthians 9:27.
Yeah, I'm right here. Okay. It says that's the beat of the air one. Oh, it's up a little bit. Yep, I got you, brother.
Yeah.
Verse. I'm gonna start at 22. To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, and you have to build your skill up to be all things to all men. Because we're created in a certain lane. We're raised, in a certain lane, but in this ministry, we have to grow beyond that singular lane that we may be able to communicate with all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that's just not something that you all, everybody automatically has, right? It says, right. I have made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. Right? This is we're an ambassador in bonds. We're prisoners of hope. So we what did say? What did Paul say? What did he say? If I preach not the gospel, I forgot how he said it.
Oh yeah.
Woe is me if I preach not the gospel or something like that.
That's
right. He says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. That goes directly with the athletic scripture that you're talking about. I mean, the breakdown of the word, athleticos that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We're competing for a prize. Okay, you gonna let a 2/3 beat you? I mean, we know it ain't in the spirit of Yahweh shot for that to happen, but you still got to run and get your calling and elections too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And running like it matters, man.
That's right. With a purpose.
We running with a purpose. We not just striving down a random park. We running understanding that when we hit the finish line, everything is going to be over. The matrix is going to be shut down, man. Yep. And it's going to be a new kingdom established where we're going to be able to rest for eternity. And you don't have to worry about. You can sleep for days if you want to. There ain't no such thing as laziness in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
When you're a king, you can sit on your ass if you want to. You ain't gonna get rebuked by the Most High.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You ain't building the kingdom fat. Look, that's when you have servants thing that. But right now, what it's we under the curses. The scriptures speak about how kings are in servant positions, and we gotta be the best servants that we could be on this side, man. Sometimes you gotta be a physical servant, and you gotta be a spiritual servant.
Right.
You gotta wear it, and you gotta be able to balance it all too. That's what it's about.
You got.
I was just saying, shout out to the brothers that posting the scriptures. The brother Nathaniel, in Matthew 24:13. That's a really good one. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. As well as one in 2 Peter 3:11. beautiful precepts too. I get,
Yeah,
shalom.
yes.
But you go
And
ahead, Elder.
Shalom, y'all on that. I was just simply gonna say, yeah. So as we're running this race, man, we got to make this call and election sure. Okay, we have to make sure that we're doing all the things and being able to juggle. That's part of being a man. I mean, it's tough because we have to first have been men first. We have to the desired discipline is what we had to have first, and then from there we can then grow wisdom at that point. So when we're yeah, I gotta go to work and I gotta read still and I gotta do lessons and I still got my kids and yeah, it's tough. You're not gonna have a lot of entertainment and free time. That's something that you do have to put away.
Mm-hmm.
You have to diminish those things to stay on your priorities. And your priority, knowing through the terror of the Lord, we persuade all men. We understand that. Hey, our priority is to get salvation. Okay, because trust me, that basketball or that video game or that chick or whatever else that's distracting your time away from this thing and not aiding it is going to be a distract. It's only going to hurt you later on, and you ain't going to be able to enjoy them things forever. But this, if you obtain this, you'll be able to have that forever.
Yep, going into redeeming that time because you can never get that time back. That's wasted.
There you
A
go.
little bit
There's a little
more.
more.
And,
There's a little bit more on this one. Then you can get back to that one.
okay.
Yeah, it says, and verse 25. This is First Corinthians 9:25. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things.
Mm-hmm.
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Speaking about athletics, the competing,
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Tommy Brown. I'm joking, but you know what I'm saying. He's speaking something, letting you know that athletics ain't the most important thing in life.
Yeah.
Okay, we know that he may not know, but we know that this truth is the most important thing in life because this is gonna give you salvation. Jake don't know that this is gonna come to an abrupt halt and a very destructive end,
Mm.
to this life if they don't get themselves right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah, and this is the Paul spoke about the mastery. This is likened unto like a master key, man. You have
Mm-hmm.
those keys that's multifaceted that can open the keys of everything. It's a precept that speaks about you get success in this lifetime and the life in the next, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, because
Mm-hmm.
even though we're not trying to be rub shoulders with the life of the rich and famous, but the Lord does protect us. He makes sure that we have our daily bread. He, even though
Mm-hmm.
we joke around and we say we catch a lot of L's, really we winning.
Yeah.
It could
Yeah.
always be that much more worse. Brothers
Mm-hmm.
get a day, get their daily bread. Brothers could jump in the shower at their convenience. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, um, and the Lord provides gas where you could actually go out and teach this word. The Lord
Yep.
protects you throughout your daily endeavors. You're not getting shot at. You don't have gangs of criminals, wanting you dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
so
You
and
can
then
you can live honestly and speak honestly.
you can live honestly and speak honestly. And a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
respect the things that we do, you know, for standing up for this word's sake. Even though we do have a lot of people that hate this word and this truth. It is a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
that respect what we do. We got to always put that in perspective, man. It's and even though it's not a lot of them, for really to be real, but the few that do see us, some people like, hey, y'all doing y'all thing, man. It's not young men like y'all anymore that go out y'all
Mm-hmm.
way. Y'all spend y'all money, y'all spend y'all time, because this is
Yeah.
going into time. We do spend
Yeah.
our time, spend a lot of time, you know, to go
Mm-hmm.
out and preach this word, man. That's the
Yeah.
sincerity, and we want the Lord to see we're not doing these things, you know, just you know,
For vainglory.
for vainglory. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing these things because we sincerely love Yahweh Shema Shah, and we desire salvation. We want better for ourselves. We want better for our nation.
Right.
We want better for the planet Earth. You know,
Right.
so you got it.
A little bit more. Now I'm repeating what you quoted earlier, but it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 26, it said, they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we for an incorruptible. I therefore so run, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air, vain, basically being vain in your actions. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. because we know that the biggest, as Apostle Gabar, eloquently speaks about, our biggest enemy is ourselves, and fighting against our spirit, fighting against our flesh. Okay, and our
Mm-hmm.
flesh want to do things of simplicity, so to speak, but our spirit want to do things that are celestial and heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to find a good balance in that, for our soul to come to rest. And the best place for us to rest is inside this truth. So when you're learning something, think about how charged that we get when we learn something. Jake learns something, or a good lesson is going on, a live stream or something, and brothers hitting comments, you reading the comments, and you hearing what the elders or whoever is breaking it down and saying, you're like, wow, brothers really going into it. You're like, dang, I didn't know that. I could, man, how charged up do we feel? We run out the room when the live stream over, and we be like, yeah, hey, babe, let me tell you about something. Hey, you want to go? You be charged up.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, let me cut the camera on and let me go.
Mm-hmm.
Those things is what this is about. But there's not many other avenues in this life that we have that type of energy that charges our spirit like that.
Yep.
So wouldn't that be where you want to stay? And we know that that's where the comfort is at. So that's what we should be keeping our focus towards.
Yep.
Okay, that's not to say don't have a good time, go out and have a drink and movies or whatever else. That's not saying that. That's simply knowing that you've done your work for the day and now you got your leisure time.
Yep.
You know,
And I got that Sirach, the
you got it.
38th chapter dealing with the leisure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Sirach 38 and 24. It says the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure.
Yes, sir.
And he that hath little business shall become wise.
And why would you have little business? Because you knocked it out.
Mm-hmm.
And my son is getting of age, so I'm always telling him like, hey man, knock out your business, do your schoolwork, do your homework, do your physical training, so we can get to this part, man. And you can, and me and you can talk and we can do stuff for it. And then of course I'm gonna always be throwing stuff in his ear that's gonna lead right to this truth anyway. So that's what this is about. Now that you ain't got much to do, then when all your business is done, you can go watch whatever you want and do whatever you want and hang high. You
Yeah,
can do all those things.
you're more justified in your folly.
True. I hate to
It's true.
say that, but it's true though. You're right,
Yeah.
bro.
Because
Yeah.
after you get into it, you be like, you know what? Well, at least I did my video.
Right. You know how
You
many
know?
hours I'll be on TikTok and I'll be like, oh, I done been 3 hours on TikTok. Or I didn't watch Kwame Brown's Bust Life for an hour and 10 minutes or whatever. Like, damn, but I did my video, so
Yeah.
I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I could just wrap the night up with a little bit of reading. I feel good about myself.
Mm-hmm. But
Just saying as far as that time goes. You got it?
that's that good prioritization.
Yeah.
Knowing how to put your priorities in order. Because we're gonna have downtime. We're men.
Yep.
You're gonna have uptime. You can't over occupy your mind with too much at the same time too. You gotta relax, man.
Yeah.
It's like a car. The motor can't be always maxed out because you're gonna blowing something out.
Yep.
A car is not always to be. The engine is not always supposed to be on a car and the gas, foot pedal to the metal. It doesn't work like that.
You can't
It needs
redline
time
the
to
whole
rest,
time.
to recuperate,
That's right.
to cool down, to actually, basically settle. And it's the same thing with yourself. So, this lesson that we're going into is not just saying, just study, but you got to make time, because a lot of men on the other side of the coin, they try to make it where they got too many carnal priorities and they just can't, get into the duties, man. This is our duty. This is what we were born to do. We're not born to be hip hop artists and construction workers and all that, fucking we ain't born to be no damn entrepreneurs, man. We're born to serve Yahweh Shema Shai and put forth this ministry first, because this is going to be this Jake was saying, the gift that keeps on giving.
Right. Yeah, this one, but we doing this like what he said. I was about to quote him on accident. The Gladiator, the movie Gladiator. He said, "What we do in this life will echo in eternity," and it's true.
It's true.
The we get salvation in this life, is gonna echo in eternity, and if we don't, it's gonna echo in eternity.
Yeah.
Your position gonna be lesser, but I mean, we still gonna be in the kingdom of heaven, which is way far better than what we going through now. And it's not meant for everybody to be the top guy, but just be the best of yourself that you can be.
Be the
You
best
know,
of yourself.
it's like drinking. You know what your measure is. If
Mm-hmm.
not, figure out your measure and then don't ever exceed that. You want to grow and try to build on it, but you don't want to just constantly exceed. That's gonna spin you out.
Spin you out. Yep. I got the next chapter on the
You
Sirach.
got it. Oh yeah.
Yep, 39. So it's Sirach 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is
Mm-hmm.
occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied in prophecies.
Beautiful. And so that there should be prophecies that we're like some of these other camps out there. You got it. Some of these other camps out there, they miss the some prophecies that go down. Hey, we got to speak on these things. We can't. It's so much happening now. We can't always get to everything, but you do have to at least acknowledge those other things. Okay, you do have to understand that there's a lot of situations. There's chariot sightings daily now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, multiple times a day. There's talks in the news about pestilences daily, about leading to this jab and this jab leading to this mark that go on daily. These
Yeah, I
are
just
these
seen
are real conversations. World War III that happen, conversations that go on daily, and these are the major prophecies that we're still coming into, that we're really waiting for these to pass, to come to pass. So these are the things that we should be occupied in, keeping that and understanding that, hey, we're right at the doorstep, and these doors of mercy are gonna close on you if we're not in tune with the spirit.
Mm-hmm. And that's when the scriptures also speaks about being a watchman. A
Yes,
watchman is
sir.
not an easy job to occupy yourself in. You can't be nodding off as a watchman. And what should you be watching for? These prophecies, man. Every
Uh-huh.
time you cut on the news, it's a cascade of information that's being just launched on you. You be like, damn, that's a lesson. That's a lesson. That's a
Mm-hmm.
lesson. You know. But if you wasn't to cut on the news, if you wasn't watching, you wouldn't really know what would be really out here, would be going on. But a little bit more on this precept. He
Mm-hmm.
will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also.
Yeah, he gonna have his time to really go into it. And how we break down these subtle parables, we go into the blue letter, we go into the other translations, we go into the etymology, we go and we look these things up. You need time to do these things. Everything ain't like this generation loves it. This generation loves instant gratification. We don't get a lot of instant gratification. A lot of this stuff comes with work. Really,
Yes,
the real
fast
life
food
is
nation.
being we spoke on Kobe's Mamba mentality. He said you have to fall in love with the work, with the journey, not with the destination. And
Mm,
you so worried about the destination that you'll cheat yourself and never make the destination. But when you love what you do, you'll follow that, and then you'll be where you need to be anyway.
mm-hmm.
You know.
It'll reward you at the end of the day, and that's where another term to be an amateur. The word
Mm,
amateur goes into the Latin I think amore, you know, which is love. You know,
mm-hmm,
even in the Spanish, I think it's something to that degree. When you say you love someone, I think it's amore or amore, however you pronounce it. But it goes into love because when you're an amateur, if you're in your amateur sports, it first starts with the love of the sport, man. And then
mm-hmm.
as you advance into intermediate or expert, you're really still an amateur because
Yeah.
if you really love the sport, because you're gonna always go back to the basics.
That is, you said the word, the trigger word, right? Desire ye the sincere milk of the word that you may grow thereby. And
Mm-hmm.
that's really where you find growth at the simplicity of some of these things, not just by going into the meat to get the understanding of going into the meat, but sometimes the simplicity of some of the milk topics in the scriptures are the ones that you'll really grow by,
That's it.
you know?
Them
Mm-hmm.
basics. Going back to the basics. And I just looked it up to make sure. Spell check the origin Latin. Yeah, amare to love. Amator, which is a lover. So amateur means to love or a lover.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the sport. You got like how Jake be talking about the love of the sport. You gotta love this thing, man. Like
Right.
Apostle always says, this is a woman, man. You gotta love Sophia, man. You gotta. You know, get
Mm-hmm.
into the the scripture speak about the breast. You know, you
Yeah,
got to really
yeah,
get into the you know the
yeah,
voluptuousness. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah. Matter of fact, Wisdom of Solomon. You was still reading, right?
I could drop it after this last one.
No, you
There's
got it.
so much in here. It's just the main point. But it says he will seek last two verses. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. He shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he have tried the good and the evil among men. That's
Yeah. Hey, you can't be in a rush. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. At work, I be trying to rush through my job to get it done. In this, ain't no rush in this, man. You can't really rush this thing like that. Okay.
can't
You
rush it.
really have to kind of take your time, and you don't have to get far, but you got to go to the right depth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sometimes the right depth is what you need. You don't need distance, but you need just depth. Sometimes you can't get deep if you don't have the time to go deep. You might only have the time to go far.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a different angle of the same things that we're talking about. But you just got to use that time wisely. It's about
That
giving
time.
that time into what you're doing. Okay, when it is a woman, yeah, you want to get all snuggled in. If you ain't got a lot of time, you might just want to get it in and be over. But if you got time, you're going to really try to make time so I can get the back rub and the foot rub and the cuddling time and the
Yeah,
smoochy
yeah, yeah,
smooch
yeah.
and dinner. And, you want to wine and dine the whole thing. Well, treat these scriptures the same way.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want to get all intimate with this woman, Sophia.
Because it's another woman that's really out to get us, and it's
Yo,
it's speak about that like the woman in the red dress, that seductive woman. I think it's Proverbs the 7th chapter.
hmm
It told you to call wisdom thy mother, and basically call understand like that kins women to keep you from the strange woman, man.
Yeah.
And what does the
Mhm.
saying go? Idleness is the devil's playground. If you're not using your time wisely, the devil knows
Yeah.
how to creep in there through that woman you wasn't expecting, and you start making love and you start entertaining and occupying your time with the woman that don't love you, and you're gonna see that she
Mhm.
gonna bite you in the ass. And then
Right.
what?
One
Now you
second.
want
Let
to
me
run to
let me turn the
Sophia.
light
Now
on.
you like, oh, take me down. I just, I didn't know I had me a good woman until it's too late. You don't want to be one of them. But you got
hmm
locking.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that was it on what you was reading.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, I'm gonna get this one in Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2:1. It says, "For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our time is short and tedious. And in the death of a man there is no remedy, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave." But the point that I want to say is true about this life. Matter of fact, I get it in James as well. Our time is short and tedious in this life. We do have a lot, but we're not just working for this simple life here. We're working for lives, in the future, the next life. Okay, this is what we're really doing in this ministry. We're working for that next life that we may obtain in that life, because this life is a wrap. Forget about this. The Most High said, from where I'm at now, if I had to keep this body and all that, I let somebody young get this. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
some fresh knees, a good back, what I'm saying, less detrimental experiences in their life, if it was about that. But since, hey, no, it's okay. You're gonna get a fresh body, your spirit gonna be renewed, you're gonna be righteous, you're gonna get blessed. Oh, okay, I'm in. You gonna take me out of these chains of darkness? I'm in,
And
you
that's
know?
what puts you in the mindset of sacrificing your life in this
That's right.
lifetime because of what the rewards you'll get in the next. And that takes faith, man. Because we can't tell you, yeah, the kingdom of heaven is on earth. We believe it, but
Right.
we can't. Yeah, when you go to so and so coordinates, when you go, that's where the kingdom of heaven gonna be at. We can't show you these things. It's a thing of faith. We believe that all the effort, all these years of starting off with the apostles on down, no one can compare to them. You know, but the decades
hmm
that even us brothers collectively, the decades that us brothers collectively put in, the time, hours, the blood, sweat, and tears, dedication and sacrifice, all the things that we've put into this truth, we all believe it. We believe it's not going to come to naught. We believe that it's going to be a reward at the end of the day, and we stand upon that, and we risk our lives, and we dedicate our lives for such. You got it, Elder.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna get this one in James, the 4th chapter. Let me see if I should read that or just hit the point. Now I'm gonna hit straight to the point. This is James chapter 4, verse 14. Whereas you know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? Right here, the point. So, what is your life? Is it even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanisheth away? Yeah, we don't have a lot of time in this life. You know, Jake is what is say 80 years in our strength. That's a small amount of time in the scheme of eternity. You know, and then when you look at how much less time we don't even have 80 years. It ain't no next lifetime after this. Okay, we got max a few more years, you know, for this to really hit hard, to really try our faith, and then the test is on. Then it's Jacob's trouble. We're already coming into Jacob's trouble, and then before you know it, in Jacob's trouble, it's gonna be the hour of temptation. And then what you gonna do? If you ain't been putting the time into this thing to prepare for the time of Jacob's trouble and the time of hour of temptation, then you know you might fail in that time, and that's not what we want to do. We want to run that we may obtain. We want to win this one, man. This is the chance we have to win. This is a chance that we should take to put in this time. If you were given like we're using sports analogies, if you were given an opportunity to play for the Lakers or whoever, you know, to be on a professional team of some sort, professional stage, are you gonna spend your time just say, I made it, I'm gonna just sit back, or you gonna start working and honing your craft? You're gonna work on your skills and your body or whatever your instrument is that you may be the best at what you can possibly be. You know? And that was the point on that about our life is short and as a vapor. You know, so we don't have a lot of time. And how much less time do we have before these prophecies in the day of the Lord come upon us?
Con, I was gonna bring this in, Baruch. I was thinking, do you want to close in a second? It's pretty staticky for some reason.
Yeah. Is that? I hear that, but I don't know what that is. What should I do? I'm gonna cut my mic and put it back on. Let me check it.
Yeah, it's staticky on your end. I can't hear it when I talk.
All right, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is that that's doing that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Is it real bad?
It's just every time you talk. But it's only a few more we're gonna bring out anyways. But I got Baruch 4:28. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek Him 10 times more. Yeah, so that's what it's about. You know, seeking the Lord 10 times more and putting in the overtime, because we've, you know, spent the abundance of years, depending on how long you've been in the truth. You know, you spent a lot of your early years being a nigga, man. You know, just being plain and simple. It tells you that in the book of Titus. You know, we were once foolish. You know, we spent a lot of our time just fucking off, man, chasing after you know, the finest chicks in the city. You know, trying to you know, run it, like how Jake is saying, run it up. You know, grinding tooth and nail to find you know, get a vehicle to have a status, you know, that people perceive you as the man. It's just vain things, man. You know, to be the sharpest in the room, to be the flyest in the room. You know, all these different things, you know, that amount to nothing. You know, it's like junk mail in the you know, in the Yahoo. You know, you go to Yahoo and Gmail. It just be all junk, man. You spend your early years, and a lot of Jakes, when you hang with an old head or two, they'll tell you all the things that they did in their young years, but they see that shit in the mountain, breakdancing. You know, they had those years, all that. And, you know, it was fun while it lasted, but it didn't amount to nothing. Nothing in this world really holds true substance but the words of Yahweh Shema Shah. That's why it's important. You know, if the Lord didn't build, then it's in vain that, you know, the builders that actually you know, partook in the construct, for lack of a very roughly paraphrasing, but I just put it in layman's terms.
Yeah, that was very good. You quoted this one earlier. If I may get it right quick, this is
You got it.
First Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. It says, "When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things." Yeah, that static is heavy right there. But basically saying you got to learn what your priorities are. Not to say that you can't still have your entertainment and your fun, but there's a level of understanding that you have to come to about when. You know, it also tells you it's better in the Ecclesiastes, the seventh chapter, is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting, and you know, better to go to mourning than mirth, or something to that effect.
Hmm.
Basically saying you can't always run the fun, you know, for your comfort. Sometimes you gotta go to some of these things. It says by mourning the heart is made better, or something to that effect, in that early
Hmm.
part of the chapter. So
Yep.
yeah, your mind is gonna be sharpened to the things that you actually need, you
Yeah.
know, in these days that we're coming into.
Yeah. Being in that mind space of grief. You know,
Yeah.
being with the lowly, building with the lowly. You know, building upward. You know, taking your
Hmm.
time and dedicating it to this ministry. And that's the only thing. That's the most valuable thing that you can really dedicate your time to. Also, it tells you in the book of Matthew how things on the earth, don't even put your full spirit into it, because it has a tendency to be corrupted and polluted, and bottoms out, man. This world has a bottom
Hmm.
out effect, man. And if you put too much of your spirit into this shit, whether it's a vehicle, like I said, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's, how Jake said, money, clothes, cars, hoes, all those things are depreciating, at a dramatic rate. And this truth is appreciating it. It tells you in the book of Isaiah, the 13th chapter, the Lord is raising up, the assembly of men to have value, worth more than the golden wedge or ophir, man.
Right.
So it starts with learning this word and tapping into our inner being, our inner man, so to speak. You had anything else you want to bring out?
Yeah, I got this one is pretty much the title scripture. First Corinthians chapter 7 and 29. It says, "But I say, brethren, the time is short. Uh, it remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none." And it's not necessarily about your woman. It's more so, what are you married and you're putting your energy into? What are you really? It's funny. I saw a Kevin Samuel video. He was like, "You talking to a woman. He said, are you preparing yourself to be married to a man, or are you already married to your career?" He said that her last relationship broke up because she was married to her career.
Hmm.
Well, this needs to be what our career is about. We need to be married to the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah, married to Sophia. So that's what we put our time and energy into, right?
Yeah,
It says,
and nothing should be able to overstep those bounds. When anything tries to take too much time out of your spiritual career, which is this, you got to know how to put bricks on it, man.
that's
Know
right.
how to put the brakes on certain things and put it in perspective. And whoever doesn't like it, they just got to kick rocks,
That's right.
because this thing should be respected. This is part of our
Hmm.
manhood. This isn't just something that we do in our downtime. This ain't Dungeons and Dragons. We ain't playing
Right.
dress up, man.
Role
You know,
playing games, right?
yeah, this ain't game playing. So if people don't respect this, what we're doing, you know, whoever comes into our lives, if they don't, see what we're doing, and get in the orbit, it's like they don't get in
Yeah.
the orbit of our, spiritual solar system, so to speak.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
they gonna have to just kick them rocks, man. You got it,
And
Mr. Rock.
that's exactly right. Just to expound on what you're saying, um, it's you really gotta, even the people that you bring in your circle. Are you bringing people in that's gonna waste your time, or are you bringing people that's gonna help you benefit your time that you
Mm.
can use wisely? And are you got people that, hey man, let's run another game. Nah, I done ran one, man. Let me I gotta go. I got shit to do. You know, or are you gonna be like, are you gonna be caught in that mentality, or are you gonna start to put people around you that it ain't gonna be may not be who you grew up with, but now there's the circle that you with, which usually the Akim, the circle that you with. If you spend any significant time together, more than likely you're gonna do a lesson. Something going the fruit of the spirit is gonna come out. So you're gonna start looking at how you're putting your circle together and how you spend your time as well. Just a
Mm.
little bit more on this, bro, just because I want to hit the point of it.
You got it.
This is in verse 32, it says, "But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried cared for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. But he that is married carried for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife." And like I said, I want to expound that wife term into anything that you have care for that's outside of this truth. If you're married to this truth, you're gonna do the things for the Lord. If you're married to the things of the world, you're gonna do that. But even for some of us that do have women that may be married or whatever the case may be, we have to still have time for that. But that means we got to stay focused, and something somewhere else down the line got to get cut out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now and usually that's pretty easy because we got folly in places. Cut some of that folly out.
Yeah,
You know, that
got
was
to.
just that was what I had.
Okay, I could definitely read these last two in the comments before we
Yeah.
close, unless you want to bring anything else. It's GMS out of 1, Ratazar 2, 1 Corinthians 2 and 2. For kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. For this
Hmm.
is good and acceptable in the sight of our power and Savior.
It's okay. You ain't gotta be the loudest and the most popular and the most. Sometimes just having your mind step back and on the how do I say it? You ain't gotta be all in the spotlight all the time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that take energy to be in the spotlight like that. So being able to dial yourself back and be subtle within yourself. Knowing that this life I ain't gonna have the baddest chick. I ain't gonna have the best cars. My house ain't gonna be the biggest. But what I do have is what's convenient for me. I know
Mm-hmm.
how to embrace and how to abound, and that's enough. Long as I have the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shah and that name still within me, hey, I'm good with whatever the circumstances are.
Yeah,
And I
having
do
it.
have one more, but I wait on it.
Oh, yeah, just to add, just living that, like I said, quiet and peaceable life. And just the last
Mm-hmm.
one, Jay, Shalom Azaria, seen it, said Shalom, Yahweh Shimon Shabbat.
Shalom. Kaka.
Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might.
Love
For
that one.
there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest.
Woo! Hey, hey, there it is. You gotta not only work to build this up, you gotta work to use it, to apply it in righteousness on this side as well. That's really where you do the most learning in this truth. That it
Mm-hmm.
ain't just what you read and I know this precept and to go with that, but how do you apply it in your daily life? How do you apply it, and find occasion to not offend, but pass that on to another man for him to benefit from it in his daily life? You know?
And that's what it's about, man. It's each one teach one. As you spend your time ministering and laboring, people see your works and they see that you're striving and sincerely, and it motivates and inspires them to want to, do what you do. Paul spoke about
Hmm.
that, how it was so many individuals that was, respected what he went through. He spoke about his bonds, man, his bonds in Yahweh Shah. And many people
Hmm.
was bold to speak that word in sincerity because they seen, his tribulations and he stood on his principles, man. It's not a lot of men. That's a lost art in the community, so they say the so-called black community, Latino,
Right.
and as well as Native American community, standing upon true principles. I ain't talking about your gang, man. I'm not talking about your set. I'm not talking about your
Hmm.
neighborhood or your block. I'm talking about this truth, the words of Yahweh Shema Shah, and standing on it. But you got it, Elder.
I got one more. And we almost let this slip away. It's a good one. Amos,
Come.
chapter 8, verse 11 said, and this is just something reminding us how little time we actually have. Right? It said, "Behold, the days come," saith the Lord Power Yahweh, "that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord." So these Bibles may get grabbed up. The internet, we already know they already started this famine of the word with the internet, cutting pages and live streams and not letting you upload and you can't say nothing. Basically say anything about truth is a new hate speech. You know, so how long do we actually have? Because we're already at that doorstep of this thing being cut off. Okay, and that was the point. It goes on. People gonna wander to try to find this thing, and they're not gonna be able to find it. But the point was, that there's gonna be a famine from hearing the word of the Lord, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you gotta understand them videos, like some of the old back 07, 08 videos, those are long gone. The 2010 and 2015, those is gone too. Pretty much for the most part. All them apostles' pages then got cut, and some of them, most of the elders' pages then got cut. So that's why we continue to go over the same topics that we can bring that information back out in our newfound us gentlemen, in a newfound understanding. But some of that
Mm-hmm.
you can't get back, so you can't ever get that breakdown the way it once was. Sometimes you can't really get that same breakdown. So we gotta when you see these topics in these live streams, sometimes you might only get what was on that live stream that night. And they'll cut it before it's even over. So what
Yeah.
was said was only time stamped for those that was watching in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts when the elders or some up and coming elders are going in. You're like, ooh, and then all of a sudden it go, what happened? It's just low, low, low. Stream got cut.
Yep.
So we gotta give as much time to this and energy to this as we can.
Yep.
While we can. You got
And
it, bro.
just to add to the last point that you were saying, time is our one of our most precious commodities on this side, man. Time has a value to it, and while we have this time, we got 24 hours in a day, we got 7 days, in a week, just like everybody, on the planet Earth. We got to use max out,
Yeah.
max it out to full advantage. It's written, giving attendance to reading, exhortation, praying when it's necessary, fasting when it's necessary, going into your closet, really building your relationship with your Lord, with the Lord,
Mhm.
building your relationship with brethren, getting in, like I say, in the good graces and getting in a proper headspace for when all this stuff goes down, because it's soon to go down. SHTF shit is finna hit the
Yeah,
fan.
that's right.
But that's if you want to
That's it right there. And we at the doorstep of that. So that's it right there. You can actually close it out if you don't mind.
con. So hopefully you brothers was edified, by the lesson us Akim was doing. So we're gonna end by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostle and elders, great millstone. Shalom Akim.
Shalom. Appreciate you for tuning in.